All right, guys, tonight we're bringing it to you straight post-game, post-Blore blunder. My goodness, that was a disgusting little effort there. They didn't give him the ball for one, but just the errors and a couple of missed tackles and just, nothing happening at all on that front. Not looking for work either. So, a strange one, an annoying one. But, we'll leave it at that, I think, there. Anyway, trade-ins this week. We've had, in the top 1,000, this is what we're covering here. 294 out of the top 1,000 brought in Maxi King. He was obviously fairly low ownership. Similar to that with Tyron Wishart at 206 trade-ins there. That line break try assist absolutely saved the bacon of those guys there. Lukey was brought in by 54. He scored okay. We'll speak about that shortly. Drinkwater tonight, 29. Brought in by Reid Marnie last night with 37. You have Sorensen, Weeks, Eli Katoa, 23, and then Karaz, 23 as well. Little shout out to the Ruben Cotter trade outs. That one hurts, definitely. Anyone else? James Salmon, that one hurts even more because he actually makes money on that and then probably is a helper for next week. So I traded in last week. I'm in your boat there on that one. I'm likely to be removing Cotter next week. But anywho, let's get into that one there. And everyone's still live playing at the moment. So Blore, not a fun one at the moment, but this is where I'm at. I've got Grant with the 50 at the moment. Cotter's 57, very happy with that. Galvin 74. Drinkwater saved himself a little bit with a couple of try assists, or 3 of them in the end there. But Blore 22 is will hurt me this week for sure. But we move on. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that game soon. But obviously there will be updates by the time most of you watch this tomorrow morning. So keep that in mind. I'm going off the live scores there. But Val Holmes, a sin bin for a interesting hip drop decision. If they're going to be calling that one a hip drop, then what in the world was David Clemmers in the second half? That was way worse than Val Holmes. He actually jumped and swung around, whereas Val was just he never actually jumped, and he was just trying to make a cover tackle to stop a try. So interesting how that one plays out. That's what all the fans want. They want consistency. If you're going to give that one a sin bin and a hip drop, and then you only look back at it and go, Clemmer, you're on report. So disgusting. The consistency is disgusting and it needs to be sorted out, which it doesn't seem to happen very regularly. But anywho, Holmes end up with a couple of tries there off Drinkwater. So good man. Drinky DeVal was great for Supercoach, that's for sure. It was a terrific first game of the night there in the Supercoach realm, that's for sure. 76 for Val. And what about the man that was injured and wasn't likely to be playing this week? Well, is in doubt anyway. Lockie Galvin, 74. He's a very terrific player for an 18-year-old. So good at what he does. And even just that try saver, that one deserves those points because that was a try for all money. He comes across. He knew he wasn't going to be able to tackle him, and he just made a play straight for the ball, and he was able to get it out. And, well deserved for that front. But 28 tackles for 2 misses. Come on, mate, sort it out. 4 tackle breaks, 199 metres run, and he looks fairly threatening majority of the times that he does run the footy. So great work from Galvin. Super happy to be owning him for the entire year. I think he's up to a 50 average now, which is spectacular. Jeremiah Nanai there was 60 with 2 tries again. I do think that he stakes his claim and he'll definitely be in Origin. I think he would have been anyway, but that helped. His ability to score tries there and his attack. And obviously, I think he is usually surrounded by better players, to be honest, in Origin, and that helps him out defensively there for sure. Reece Robson with 57, a terrific game for him. 50 tackles, no misses. It's just unheard of from last year. So for him to turn around like he has this year has been nothing short of spectacular for sure. To get that sorted in a team that's still really poor has been a great season for Robson and his scoring so far. How good was Twali getting his second try of his career? It was a good one at that, 57 in 65 minutes there for him. Just the 1 tackle break. They didn't get a line break for it. I thought there was a chance that he might, but wasn't to be. May happen in updates, obviously, but a 57 for him was cracking work. Similar to that with Ruben Cotter, he had the head injury assessment. I suppose good thing with the Blore, he was able to get back on after his HIA as well. But both Cotter and Blore did return. Cotter actually came back and scored tremendously well. 44 tackles for no misses. So him and Robson to go for no misses for 94 points, just 94 tackles, just shows how much of of a leaders those two guys are. And then Tom Dearden there with 25 tackles for no misses. So it says enough. It says it all, to be honest with you. They're the three leaders in this side, and they're doing great things. But congrats to Cotter and Robson for doing great things, both getting 57 in that game for owners. Townsend 52, Samuel Afinu, he had a cracking game and he finally was able to show. He was about 7 in 30 minutes too. So it was a massive last 50. He got 45 in that time and did everything. Like, he obviously missed a bunch of tackles there. He had 7 in total across the game, but he was able to show his attacking prowess and he was massive in this one. And I still think that he's a potential purchase in round 14. Given they now have a few more injuries with Isaiah Papali'i going down as well, which we'll speak about shortly. You got Bateman still out for a while. He will be their go-to guy, and he was even good in the air as well, and he's just a mountain of a man. So Samuela, definitely a really solid mid/edge option that if you guys recall, if you do follow the all these videos and you're watching this right now, thank you so much. You're an absolute legend for still being here in round 12. And for watching all my weekendly videos. But I spoke about in my team needing probably a dual position mid-edge come round 14 or 15. So to support me for round 16. And he could be that guy for sure. Definitely. Doesn't miss any games following that period. So I'm eyeing him off. And that 52, he won't go up too much cash now after a few slower weeks along the way. But he's someone I'm definitely eyeing off. Carfell 52 with 2 tries, should have had 3, cooked himself a bit there. Obviously thankful for a Cowboys win as well. Dearden 50 in this one, did a good job. That line break all the way up the field there. End up with Drinkwater getting that last try assist as well, which was great. Drinky, super frustrating watch, to be fair. Like, you got obviously Neg 14 there across this game, but it's the effort plays. Like, I was saying to the guys, Drinky, the yuck. That effort on Alamalo to try and stop that try. But, like, in his defense, I've seen Teddy try that a couple of times in a row now and been completely knocked out. So, I think he just preserves himself a lot more than what other fullbacks do. And, look, it's not great to the eye for sure. But, if you're an important player like him, you can understand why he does that. But on the other hand, and the most important hand, when you're a team that has zero effort, a lot of the time, 0 effort, 30% effort, 50%, 70%, whatever, you're not 100% effort all game, that is not a good look, that's for sure. So I'll leave it at that. 48, I'm happy that we got a decent score out of him. Hopefully you can do the same next week with with who they come up against, and he can hopefully score well. Stefano picked up a try himself as well. I don't know how he doesn't have a line break there as well. Is that correct? How does Stefano not have a line break? He dove over from dummy half. So hoping that there's a few updates from a few players here, namely Drinkwater. But Stefano should get into the 50s with that try. So good stuff there. Happy Coruscant, all good for him. He just went off with tiredness. He put in a good stint, done some good work there. Picked up a line break. The 8 missed tackles was his killer. Did have a turnover. A 40-20? Was it? No, 40-20 was Drinky. But Drinky has 3 try assists and a 40-20, and he only gets 48 points. So pretty gross, but happy there with that turnover tackle, I should say. Forced drop out. A few bits along the way to get a solid score there of 45. Take it if you're still holding. Sullivan 44 for those that jumped on a few weeks ago. McIntyre with the try and 42. Good stuff. Seyfarth, that was from Drinkwater too, Seyfarth, 39 there, Lamalo 39. He looked, he had a tough little stretch of play, and then managed to pick up a try assist and a try, and look really strong. So it was good stuff from him. Tommy McKaylee, 36 in 30. If you have him, I'd be playing him over Strange and these types of guys, just in that matchup against the Roosters. Any of those outside back, Seb Chris, all those types of players, I'd be playing him over them. Matamua ended up with 46 minutes, so good stuff to him. He had a solid outing, just the 1 penalty, 1 error, 1 missed tackle. Hillam Lukey, 32 in 64, so it wasn't his best outing, that's for sure. There's a few people, as we said, that did pick him up. They're 50-odd. Was it 54? So, not super ideal. Hopefully he does update a little bit. He looked pretty solid out there, but just didn't get much in terms of offloads or any attacking stats. And then tackles were pretty well down too, and they had a lot of ball. there, obviously. You had Talangi with 29. Isaiah Papali'i is the sad one here. 21 in 37 minutes. Was doing fine. But obviously, yeah, it got twisted up in that tackle was the big thing there. It wasn't really valved too much. It was a little bit on him sliding into it, them sliding, and then him getting curled over the back is just going to stretch it out. So that's where he has torn all those ligaments. I imagine if he has, and we'll find out obviously in the next few days what's exactly happening, but doesn't sound great. They have a bye next week, which is helpful, and hopefully it is only 1 or 2 weeks more past that, and you can hold him and make decisions from there. All right, Finafiriaki did get 30 minutes, 15 points. Not super ideal, but he also had no negatives, so you can't blame him too much. You would have liked to try in that one, but the good thing is if you still own him right now, you'll be holding next week because you get likely the 80 minutes out of him coming into round 13, which would be absolutely beautiful. Alrighty, finishing off with the final game here of tonight, the second one there. I just wanted to shout out Tommy Talau, 58. He has looked great, to be honest with you, this year since he's returned. He's looked really, really good, and it's probably what we thought. Like, we thought he'd have show some improvement, and in a pretty good team, he'd be able to do good things as well, and that's been the case here, and he got the spoils tonight, that's for sure. Pretty sad with this one. Congrats to Eagles and their win, but being a Storm tipper, that wasn't to be this week, sadly, and having Sean Blore in this one, and just it probably didn't go exactly how I hoped, that's for sure. And another week where Robson outdid Grant, but Jerome Hughes 60, got to try assist, did some good things. Obviously, they really needed him this week to come back early. Thankfully, looked like he's got through unscathed and should be fine with a week off rest and back into it in round 14, and they'll be wanting it. They'll be hunting a win in round 14, that's for sure. Eli Gatol with 58, picked up that try there. Good stuff across the board. Nothing crazy there. Couple offloads, the tackle breaks, the run meters, the try, the 31 tackles, 1 miss, like all good stuff. Overall, just a -3 is what helps him to that 58. Really, really good buy come round 14 now. So will Hughes be for sure after that rest. Talau we spoke about, a great score from him. I don't know. Yeah, he's someone you could look at, to be fair, from round 14, but I do think you go for like Garrick or something instead. DCE 53, solid enough if you own. Are you selling come next week? I think so. They miss 13. You could wait till 16 to be fair, but he misses 13, 16, 17, 19 with Origin. So, yeah. Burbo, 52. Congrats to anyone who still owns him. You got a lovely score. Hopefully, you've been able to loop him in, or you're starting him, or whatever that situation is for you. He outdid Grant, so good stuff there. Grant ended up with a line break, got some meters out of that. I'm hoping there's a few more in there, but I feel like there should be. He ran about 40 on that one. But yeah, 4 missed tackles, an error, a penalty. He did have a turnover tackle, which was helpful, but to have a line break, to have a turnover tackle and still only get 50 for one of the greats of, in the hooking role for the last few years, it's a bit sad. It's a bit annoying how it's played out over this season, but still averaging 52. He's priced under that, so as a current owner, I think he's the one that you can easily hold, given that we're going to probably want him at the back end of the year. Like, there's a few guys you could have, like the Reed Marnies and JMKs and Cooks, Robsons. You can have them all, right? But they're no better than what Grant's doing, so may as well just hold him through this period. I've got a few covers myself, and you might do as well. Nick Meaney with 50, got to try the line break there, 4 goals. Not too many on the negatives, just the -8. But it was an interesting one there. He had the ball stolen off him from Luke Brooks, and he chased him down, which is very impressive, and made the turnover tackle. So he made the cover tackle and got him down. So congrats to Meaney on that play. Obviously didn't help them out for a win, but yeah, was solid on that. Gerbo, 46 there, 46 there. Congrats to Gerbo as well for the try. The people's champ. We love him. So yeah, good try at that. I was hoping that Blore was able to hold him up, but or make him drop it for a nice 9-10 pointer, but wasn't to be. Congrats, Jakey boy. Aero 46, King 41, Brooksy 40. A pretty solid game for him overall. I was happy with his efforts there. Wish up with a 40. They're just a couple of negatives in there, but really good tackle numbers. Didn't kick for too much, just 61. It was a bit of a scrappy game, a bit of a strange one for the Storm guys there. So I think you take the 40, run away with it. For a lot of people bringing him in, he's someone that people will target, I think, in round 14. Farlongo there with 39. He had that nice try assist to Meany, and 213 run meters was kind of the biggest thing there on that one. That worked in his favour. Only the one tackle break. I feel like there's a couple more in there, but might not be. We'll see in updates, obviously. Olakau'atu, he was on 28 in about 30 odd minutes, and then end up at 36. So yeah, a bit of a strange one. Couple of penalties. Ooh. Tired, obviously, making this at 10:18 p.m. Doing it for you legends. Love yous all. But only 70 run meters for Olakau'atu. Looked really damaging, and then they just didn't go that side at all, which also meant that Blore wasn't getting many tackles. And he seemed to run a little bit wider than where Blore was for the most part. Garrick, 36, so a bit of a down week. I do believe he's owed I think on that one play there where he got the offload, he went 2 or 3 tackle breaks and then the offload, running sideways, as you do, Mr. Crabman. But yes, I do think he finishes about a 40, but we'll see how that ends up. 5 goals, 4 missed tackles and an error, an inside 10. So it can't be too crazy above a 40 mark with no attacking stats in that. But yeah, if you take the 40 or whatever it's going to be, 38, 40, and take it to the bank, won't go up too much in price, won't go down, you'll be fine. Panthers, do I buy him in round 14? That's the question. Obviously, you're holding into this week, and then, he's going to have a terrific run from there. All right, Lawton, Welch, Asafa, Opwadi. Good debut. Looked really, really good, guys. I was very happy to see him out there. Him versus Farlongo was really, really cool. So, 32 for him. Unlikely for him to get any more games if, Colo and Garrick are there and fit and firing, which they should be. If Colo's not there in round 14, he might get one more, but that's it. Paseka, Aloe, Blore, so 22. Just pretty gross, guys. It was -8 there, but Tony gets 59 meters. Hopefully, he does clip over that 60 mark. But I felt like I was waiting about an hour for him to get another run in that second half. It was pretty gross. Anytime they went to go, it looked like he was ready to go. He'd come through for a run and they just wouldn't use him. They'd go back right, like they'd look that way, or they'd give it to Wishart and then he'd run himself, or he'd pass it back on the right-hand side. It just wasn't happening. So frustrating there for sure. 22, 23, whatever it ends up. Back to the drawing board. He's got a bye next week anyway. And then we can go from there. But hopefully he goes back to some better scoring, because this is the only poor one in that little stretch of games that I've had him. I got him for some pretty good scores there, 50 odds and then 2 high 40s. He's maybe some decent money, and then that 22 kind of hurts things for sure. So hopefully he bounces back. Hopefully they do give him some pellet very, very soon. Chen Kum Tong got a nice line break there. I want to shout out Vega. He was incredible. He got 17 fantasy points, but I think he had such a good game. He made that crucial try, could have been potential try-saving tackle on Sua there in the back end of the game, which chopped him down. It could have got through and kept that momentum for sure. Also, what do you guys think on Storm being down 6, taking the 2? Because that just slowed down that momentum. They were absolutely flying at that point, and that completely turned it around. It had to go back from their end, and just wasn't working there. So I think obviously hindsight says they had to go for it, but I haven't seen that. They reckon it's very old school, what they used to do. I haven't seen it in a long time, and I think there's a clear reason why you don't do that. And yes, the 2 points, you get the ball back, but you get the ball back down there. You don't get the ball back here. So it feels like a mistake with the momentum they have. It's such a momentum game. The 2-pointer there was just a mistake, in my opinion. I thought it was at the time, and it ended up being that way anyway. Corey Waddell, 15, not good on his front either. So I think he's definitely sell. Last week he got lucky with 39 in 34 minutes. This time it's wasn't to be. Not a lot through the middle when he was on the park. Nathan Brown, what an interesting battle that was with Shawnee Blore. I'd forgotten about it until the commentators mentioned the battle they had on Blore's debut for the Tigers. So that was cool to see. Blore just standing over him, and Brown just going and absolutely biting on it, loving it. So there you go. I'm sure one of you guys are going to clip me up doing that meme, doing that right then, and put it up against that meme. I can't remember how to do it anymore, but you guys know. You guys know the meme I'm talking about. Oh, he came bounding over. Yeah, you can find that one. That'll be funny as someone clip that up and do that. That'll be good bants. Warbrick, Coates, just low ones across the board for those two. Yuck. That's it. Grant Anderson, neg 4 in 33 minutes. Tough times out there. So that's that. Let's quickly go over the fantasy stuff as well. I love how it goes straight to my AFL dashboard there, but let's just jump in slow and steady as always. All right, Cowboys, this is a nice one. I got Drinkwater as captain, Val Holmes with the 138, and silly old me didn't play Galvin. I played Iro instead. So yeah, that was that. I was like, oh, I'm loaded up on him in fantasy and everything, so I was like, I'll leave it. But he had a great game. Got 89 obviously in that and 70 odd in fantasy. Coruscant was really nice. Utua Kamanu, Samuel Afinu, 70s. Coruscant 63. Twali got the try as well. So that was all cool. But yeah, Isaiah Papali'i, not a nice one there at 24. And then on the other side, Finn with 18 for anyone still holding. And yeah, Cotter 57 was cool. Robson 58 did and 62. All pretty solid scores. And Jeremiah Nanai with 95. But yeah, it was a massive couple of scores there with Drinky and Holmes for me. That they kind of saved my bacon, which was good. And then Eagles up against the Storm there. Game just finished. Obviously, none of these are updated there. But Garrick 60 with an offload. Katoa 62 with a couple of offloads there. So they should go up a little bit. Yeah, Jerome Hughes, their highest is 68. And, second highest is 68 with Meany 73, which was cool. You got that try that helped. Tommy Talau was a pretty low scoring game with no tons. Hopoate was 75 in his first game. Super cool. And Talau with his double. Luke Brooks 54, you take. Grant the 54 with that line break. Not super exciting, obviously, but Blore's 28 there. And yeah, I think we'll leave it at that, guys. Thanks for joining me late at night. I may as well post it while I'm here late. And for anyone who's still alive and wants to hear me rant about Sean Blore and whatever else, taking the two. So yeah, there you go. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.